So session 4 today is judgment. And what if judgment isn't a bad thing? When you give judgment the freedom to exist, you can engage with life in a whole new way. Humanity recreates judgments every day. This is the thing. It's like we can dissolve our own judgments. And at the same time, there's still this whole field of judgments that humanity is going to recreate every day because they don't realize that there's another way yet. We do. And so we're playing differently. So you can engage you can engage with life in a whole new way. Humanity recreates judgments every day from a familiar pattern of thoughts that has been running for thousands of years. So why fight it? Why fight it? Once you see it for what it is, you can begin to walk in a new way without the battle. The thought this morning is that judgment is all about defense. Judgment is all about protection, 100%. There's nowhere that judgment is about the heart. It's about defending and protecting what's comfortable, what's familiar, the way I know it to be, the way I think it should be. And again, let's not say that that's bad, because especially those of us really sensitive, look at what we lived through as little people. And look at what little people are living through today. Of course, they're going to build defenses and protections until they remember what it feels like to have their heart moving through their body, where no defense is necessary. So every single judgment is defending something. Every single judgment is protecting an image or a suggestion of the way to be. And when we recognize that, it opens a space for a ton of compassion. Because if I see myself having these judgments of, oh, this is terrible, or, oh, I wish it were different, or it shouldn't be that way. And I recognize those judgments, and then I know, okay, that judgment is just defending something. I wonder what it is. I wonder where the hurt was, or where the scare, the frightening was. I wonder where that was. So, and the reason why I want to know what it was is so I can put my arm around it and just go, oh my God, I get it. I understand. Meaning within my own psyche, right? And like, for example, there's recently been a couple of times when I've gotten to walk through people being manipulative toward me. And honestly, it felt horrible. So I'll just go step by step. It felt horrible to feel somebody shooting poison arrows at me, right? And so it's very intense. The sensations are very intense. And of course, the protective mechanisms go, oh my God, this is horrible. This is bad. And I can watch the thoughts come up like, what do I say? How do I counter this? Because I can see the truth. They're not seeing the truth, or they're seeing the truth from a very, very narrow place, right? And so I'm watching these thoughts go bam, 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 just because that's how my mind was trained too, right? But I'm watching these go bam, 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 bam. And I recognize, okay, those thoughts are all trying to counterpunch, because the ego feels attacked. Well, it's being attacked. So there's a counterpunch. So I get to acknowledge, yep, there's an attack there. I'm not going to pretend there isn't. And my psyche wants to counterpunch. Of course it does. That's what a psyche does. So once I recognize that there's a war going on there, it's like taking a step back and looking from a bigger place and a bigger place and a bigger place. once I recognize there's a war going on, then I can start to see, okay, what's really happening here? Where's all the defense? Where's the fear? Where's the fight? What is being defended? And simply by asking that question, I pop right out into this open, compassionate space again. And I can see, oh, this person attacking me is a 4-year-old, just feeling like they're not getting what they want. And that person can't even really see that they're attacking me. They just think it's the way. So I can have a judgment and say that that's bad and wrong, and I shouldn't ever have to experience this. Or I can say, interesting, okay, that's what's going on. Buddy, I get it. Boy, do I get it, because my 4-year-old is feeling the same way right now, that I'm not getting what I want. Okay, so while my 4-year-old has got her little panties in a bunch, at the same time, I remember the part of me that's not 4 years old, the heart, the part that knows how to put my arm around a 4-year-old and say, oh, I get it, sweetie. Totally get it. So in this one instance that I'm talking about, this person is just daggers, 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 and it felt horrible. And I felt like, I had a hand around my throat, and I felt like 2 tons of weight on top of me. And of course, part of me wanted to just throw fists and make it stop and all this stuff. But I recognized that, I know where fighting takes me. Been there, done that. So I'm going to simply acknowledge, okay, I hear you. And it was intense, but I just acknowledged, okay, I hear you. And it took some time. I sat silent with this person standing over me for about a minute. It seemed like a decade. But for about a minute, I just said nothing, because I wasn't willing to speak from a place of war. And it was awkward, and it was uncomfortable. And I could feel that other person did not understand, and they were just waiting, and planning their next move based on whatever defense I was going to throw. So I can feel all of that. We're going to feel all of that. But the question comes down to, what am I here for? What do I stand for? What direction am I going? Because there's nothing in the outside world that can stop me from walking toward my heart. There's nothing. And the mind may not get that. And so when the mind doesn't get it, for myself, again, a bit kamikaze, but for myself, I start going, all right, then prove it. I'm going to not counterattack. Prove to me that nothing can stop me from walking toward my heart. I'm going to let everybody else do what they're going to do. I'm going to let them crash and burn if that's what's going to happen. I'm going to let them soar like eagles if that's what's going to happen. But I'm going to walk toward my heart. There's no compromise there. That's my priority. And so my response on that day was, okay, I hear you. And this person paused for a second, had nothing, like it just totally erased all of the planned arguments and attacks, totally erased them. And this person just said, and turned and walked away. And so that, it's intense. It's intense. And what that took was me recognizing all sorts of judgments that wanted to happen real time, and to offer myself the grace and compassion to not react on any of them, but to simply recognize, oh, man, that makes sense that you would want that. And to stay so committed to my heart that it didn't matter if I won or lost, because I wasn't the one in the competition. There was a competition being brought to me, but I wasn't the one in competition. So it's, again, there's a lot of intense stuff going on right now. And so let's just let it be intense, right? Let's take half a minute and simply let intense be intense. Okay? I'll keep the time. But again, come right down to heart center open. Or right up to heart center open. And let's play with that, with our higher levels, and just say, okay, if intense is just intense, show me what that feels like with no opinion about it. For 27 seconds more. Let's see what it feels like to have no opinion about intensity. And just let it exist. For 20 seconds more. Higher levels, show me what that feels like. That it's not about me, and I don't have to fix it. It's just intense. And I'm moving toward love. As love moves toward me for 10 seconds more. Good. Because intense, all it is dense particles, dense thoughts, dense opinions. Just is what it is. No, we don't have any required outcome. We're not missing anything. Intensity is just intensity. Heart center open. Because the only thing that brings overwhelm on in any situation is the opinion that what I'm feeling should be different than it is. Or to say what I'm feeling is bad. With no opinion, we have no overwhelm. Because we can simply see it as dense thoughts, dense consciousness moving through like fog. And we're going to feel it. You feel fog. We feel fog. It's cold. But I wonder what it feels like to be me with no opinion of dense thought forms and dense consciousness. I wonder, maybe I've never felt that before. I wonder what that would be like. I wonder if I would continue to exist if I don't have judgments and opinions about it. I wonder. And let's let that be a real and valid exploration. I wonder if I would continue to exist without those things. Maybe I've never felt that before. I wonder. And so let's open that space of light for wondering. Who am I without opinions? Who am I without judgments? Higher levels, show me. Let it present in a way that honors me. Let it present in a way that I can enjoy. Let it present in a way that I can watch it happening as it's happening. So my mind is really clear what we're up to here. And body, you're safe. Mind, you're safe. And mind, the way you know you're safe is because your body's safe. So body, show me that sensation of heart center open with no opinions. I want to become more acquainted with that, more intimate with that part of me that has no opinion. And I would love to see if life can actually happen with no opinion. and what that might be like, and what might open up to me, and what I might see, and what I might experience. Heart center open. And just let it feel how it feels. Because again, we're not moving toward a particular outcome. We're exploring what is, and we're actually creating new outcomes simply by playing. Asking these questions, opening the door to be shown how it feels to know that intimacy that has no opinion. You're actually creating your life stream with that ambiance. That is embodying and really commanding your ability as creator, simply by wondering, like little kids. That's how little kids do it. And this is how it feels. And so again, just for another 30 seconds, let's just explore, let that sensation come through, just so we can become better acquainted with it. And just welcome it, say, that's what that is. And let it bubble right through all the dense matters, all through the body, through the thought forms, through the solar plexus. And if it changes how it feels a little bit, okay, well, just keep bringing it on. I just want to be more acquainted. Knowing as well that when we play on the sensory level like this, we are addressing not only our conscious awareness, but this is also addressing the subconscious. Because the way we address the subconscious is through letting the feelings and the sensations of old and tucked away emotions, letting all of that move through and out. That's why playing with the sensory awareness this way is so direct. So higher levels, keep bringing in this awareness of what it is to be me with no opinions. I want to feel that presence and be more acquainted with that presence, so that when I walk through my life, I can bring that presence with me, even in intense situations. It's not about being perfect. It's not about getting it right. It's not about being able to make a certain outcome happen. It's about knowing your capacity to create right through the intensity of a situation, and to continue to create this space simply by wondering, I wonder what it's like to be me with no opinion in this room. I wonder what it's like to be me with no opinion in that conversation. And then you just go have your conversation. But you have invoked your creator ability simply with wondering before you show up. And that's when you really get to start watching fun things happen.